but every time I've seen damage on a countertop, it's because it's setting flat like this.
It picked up like
Pick it up, and then they move it. So you always tell people, slide it to the edge, and I always just only slide. And then once it's off that edge, I can pivot that on that, and I'm using that countertop supporting it. Now everybody always goes to the edge, and then they pick it up, and then do that. Think with your head and roll it. So literally, I wanted to. And every time you break, you see somebody like you're going through a house and they're like, oh, let me get through here, snap. So now epoxy is pretty forgiving. So, but if you still have, what's that?
I said you're crazy, bro.
No, seriously.
I know.
And there's a seam down here, so, and I've never seen breakage when handled correctly, but I have seen seams that weren't done with epoxy. If it was like, I used to biscuit joint my seams, and wood glue and biscuits are not as strong as just epoxy butted up, not nearly. I mean, an epoxy seam will never break, especially if you do it with a countertop and let it cure overnight. And I've never seen breakage, but I have seen where you crease and it leaves that permanent, like, perfect, like, ripple through your top that you can't get out. No, the worst one I ever did, the lady came in and like complimented me on how good I seamed the countertop actually. And I was like, well, actually that broadcast through because we didn't carry it correctly. So. And I never seal anything because it's bullshit for a sealer, but for as far as bonding, like granite, anything to a substrate wall, like shower panels, where you're gonna have thermoshock constantly, a shower that's cooling down, causing a 50-degree panel, hot water, making it 170 or whatever the hell it is, so. And now I'm just gonna hold this, here, I got it. Yeah.
Right? Okay. So you just kind of just push it. All right.
Now if I have to, a lot of times I'll put a screw, even if I'm not screwing into anything, I'll wedge it between my backsplash and my countertop, just setting it like barely a few threads in, nothing budges, it doesn't pull out or anything, and this is cured within an hour or two. You're never getting this off, so. You're good.
You came out pretty good in the edge there, huh? Maybe get a clamp from here to there.
Well, sometimes I do it just like that, though.
And then you say you can always caulk with a little nice bit of white caulk there, right?
Okay. We'll caulk this anyway.
Okay.
It's our wall epoxy with exact matching color, so it's an epoxy. You never have to recalk anything like that. And then you have like epoxy on all your seams. I tape them all first because epoxy is a shit to work with. I mean, it's just like caulking when you use a wall epoxy. And then you can smooth that out, peel your tape, and you'll have perfect color match seams. Now,
and are you smoothing it with a trowel or anything?
Usually a glove and alcohol. And here's my thing. I do not believe that caulking is meant to be a cove baseboard or a smooth rounded corner. Caulking is meant to fill a gap. And I always use paintable. If you notice, I'm using paintable caulk on top of the surface so I don't get fish eyes or delamination issues with my epoxy not bonding to it. And I bond everything with silicone because silicone's an awesome bonding system, but do not caulk your seams using silicone or like epoxy will never stick to it. And like I say, if you want a perfect match, this is clear, it goes on white, dries clear, I like using that, but if you want to never see that, and all I'm doing down here on the base is I don't want to pour such thick epoxy on here that it all flows right back out through the back of the cabinet and out the front. So.
Okay, I was wondering, that's what I was wondering.
How long are you gonna let that dry before you can put the epoxy on it?
By the time we're mixed, we'll be fine, yeah. It'll even dry out through the wood and the back and everything, so. Now if you have like a really uneven wall, that silicone will like stick to the wall and then pull back out. And it's actually, as it cures, it becomes a really stiff shim. It cures it there, but it'll keep it, like that back wall was so wavy, and now we'll silicone it like that and leave the sheet just perfectly straight. And be careful that you don't clamp the centers. I've seen guys do that, and they use clamps. I'd rather almost tape up and over, because I want it to be kind of soft and even, because I don't want to create flexes where I clamp it. I always start out left and I work to the right. This is the most sure way I've ever had. Really work your corners and make sure they're tight. So I'm going to do my corner like this, come back to myself here. Somebody pinch that together and stick that tape together. Now I have a skirt. Come back here. Now, see how this comes unbonded pretty easy? I'm going to take this. I'm real picky. I mean, masking makes or breaks your job, so go overboard on masking. Yep, it's how you make money. Really get this set properly is very important. So we'll take little tags of tape and tape it here, put a little ball behind it, tape it here. Take as long as you need to. Work that skirt out, work your air out of it. Make sure if you have a little, I usually back roll tape and stick it back there. And make sure if you have air vents in here that they're blocked or turned off. I've had a really nice masking job. It's like Marilyn Monroe's skirt, just not very fun though, struggling with masking. Just make sure you give me plenty of space.
Okay. We talked to these guys. I think it's going to
And we are live, so we'll have to try to be thoughtful. Don't let me talk or I'll get us canceled again. Oh shit, yeah, you're good. Grab a rag, somebody.
Here, rag.
Can I grab a rag or cardboard or?
And bring me the frog tape and some, tape and drape. This is a big mistake of mine, guys. Just so you know, I fuck things up a lot. Bond my masking on behind me if you want to with frog tape, just like we do normally. I didn't mask our sink, but that's such is life. Hi, everybody online. I make lots of mistakes.
Fine egg on this thing.
Spin it for a little bit, nice and half speed.
Oh, that's got some color.
Yeah, it does. A little more than the other one, but it's just more on top.
A lot for that corner. Looks good though.
I think it's going to get way whiter in the bottom of this. You see how clean that backsplash? Look at how unlevel that was, how that dropped down. Now, do we want to peel cabinets out and wreck somebody's tile and then level everything, or just make it glass? So. Real close, a little closer to it, yeah. Fast, but just close, yeah. Now our alcohol spray bottle. Here, now I'm gonna be spraying them pretty heavy through here, guys, so I apologize. I know that's gonna stink, but in your face. Don't touch this over here with a torch at all. You gotta say it though, you gotta say it.
No, you do. I've seen your videos and you do that.
Yeah, in my own shop I'd like to make fires, but I don't want to do it in their house.
I don't blame you.
So you can't over alcohol it then?
No. You guys aren't gonna see the actual pattern correctly until this all gets pulled off the tape and it's gonna flow. It'll look a lot better than this. Pops any little air bubbles, you'll see little micro bubbles. It really helps stuff flow into place. So see where you see it in there shimmering kinda? Watch this line get nice and soft just from alcohol being sprayed on it. It'll really soften these lines and just make them look more natural, I think. So yeah, we'll probably pour. If this doesn't turn out good enough, we'll pour this upper again. Not enough gold in it.
No issue to mix a little bit of gold and a little bit, pull right over it though.
You could if we have any. We'll lift it a little bit and then tip it that way. Nice and gentle, not too much, not too much.
So Levi, what did you say about the gold?
It's pulling pretty good down here now. Bring it back to you.
No, you're good. Thank you, sir. Now, anybody walking in here, be really careful. You can't walk in any drips. There's going to be drips everywhere in here.
side of the
I'm
sink.
just making sure that it's exactly the same reveal as it's going to be when it's mounted. So if the faucet hole, since it's in the metal, you know, if it doesn't, it has to match up perfect. So. Should we cut the side hole instead of the center and see if they like a corner faucet?
Yeah.
I hate soap pumps and countertops.
They'll never know that they like it if they don't.
Yep. I hate extra holes just cut for no reason.
They're a pain in the ass to film anyway.
Yes, yes. That one went through all the way. Just vacuum up under our sink when we're done. This is the easiest time right now to put this faucet in. And we can just reach it all right here.
Then you have to fish it through the sink.
Yeah. I like to get it in place, even for my plumbers. I usually set it all kind of the way I want it, and then just ask them to kind of finish anything.
Way more down where you want to last. If I could hear everybody, everybody on it.
See how we're gonna finagle this. I've never had one where we couldn't. So I up, and the sink was a little too big to fit in the cabinet afterwards, so we just cut the face frame out of the cabinet really quickly, but we did have a custom cabinet guy here to do it, so I felt like trying to trick you guys and lie about it and do movie magic so you guys wouldn't know, but we all up sometimes. So if this does not work out, we'll never let him back into a class. If it works out beautifully, he's definitely the hero. You're the hero.
I'll take it. I like mods, but no discounts.
I'll be honest, guys. This is why I do like jobs, because we things up. In a classroom, we would never this up ever, but nobody would ever have thought about this. So I will say this is a very minimal, this is like a builder grade width cabinet, 32 inches. This sink usually goes in like a 48-inch base, I'll bet you, or something huge. So yeah, like a real, and so stupid, I should have like looked at that. Somebody asked. And I don't want to hide things like this from you guys, because I don't think there's any learning in me pretending I'm perfect. Look at that.
Right, that thing is just like
The whole.
Yep. That's like the way that's going in. Now I'm going to go this way on this clamp. We'll go to the back more. I know it's going to be back further. Set that down. So we want to hold that. Now this one I'm going to put the claw this way just so it has more to support. That slid up correctly. There we are.
Okay.
We'll leave it a little low. Let it go for a second with your hand. I'm going to try to hang it in there. There we are. It's the only one I've ever used, a silicone 1 or 2 for all. And I have probably over 1,000 kitchen sinks in with it, but it's all the granite, just the most.
Pure silicone?
Yeah. I only use it for bonding though. Like, I've just never been able to break that bond. Cabinets to countertops. Yeah. I called my dad one time and I was like trying to get a granite countertop removed with silicone on it, and I'd never removed one yet. And I was like, man, I'm trying to cut it. And he's like, well, it's overheating your saw blades, right? And I was like, yeah, it is. And I was like, I tried burning it. He's like, burning it? Why would you try to burn it? Silicone doesn't burn. You can't burn soda. I never knew that. Never realized it was that temperature resistant.
silica, you don't realize that's actually sand.
Yeah, right? Now we'll adjust our board to wherever we need to, so it hangs in here just right. Yep, you go up. Yep. Let's see, what am I hitting here? There we are. Yep.
We could have it sat down on stuff like a pedestal for a mount.
Sorry. Yeah. Because sometimes I'll run it right through the metal lip if I have to, too. So, and then that wide head, I love these wide heads because it'll hang right on the edge of that sink. Yeah.